On a live this morning, a host was talking to a MAGA. Would you give up your kidney for your daughter? Yes, of course, anything for her. Would you stand in front of a bus and protect her and save her life? Of course. Would you give up your guns if you can guarantee that your child or any other child was not the victim of a mass shooting? And he paused for 5 seconds and he said, no, I wouldn't. I can't do it. I want you to think about this, that this person, along with a lot of other people, love a piece of metal so much that they would be fine with letting their child die from gun violence before giving up their personal freedoms of owning a firearm. I own a 6 Sauer. If the country came to us and said, we came up with a plan that everybody gives up their guns, I can guarantee you that not one more innocent child would be murdered in a school, I would stop this video. I would walk barefoot through glass for 10 miles if it would save even one life of a child in the school. That's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of country that I want to live in. That's the kind of faith. Love thy neighbor. Not love my gun. Not don't tread on me. Caring about other people. And people that love firearms don't give a shit about anybody else. They only care about me. We hear this all the time. More guns keeps us safe. Did it keep Columbine safe? Look at Uvalde. Those officers sat on their fat asses for an hour while children were mowed down. Didn't stop them then. Didn't stop January 6th. Didn't stop Melissa Hortman. Where were the good guys on George Floyd? Oh yeah, they sat there and watched it happen. Where were the good guys with guns with Ahmaud Arbery? Or VA Tech? Or Las Vegas? There's over 40,000 people that die every year, and we have 400 billion guns. And every time, we just need more guns. You could only shoot one gun at a time. You could own 1 million guns. We have a problem with young white men that have small penises that are very insecure. And that's the base that the racist podcaster reached out to. You are going to be an alpha male. You're going to be a real man. He said the cost of dead Americans is worth it for the Second Amendment. This is your great Christian that you're crying over because he won't put your name, they won't put his name on a Starbucks coffee. You're not people of faith. You're Pharisees. You worship a false idol, a gun. Guns are your false idol. You worship them. There was a story about a rich man that came to Jesus and he said, God, I'll do anything. I just want to follow you. He's like, cool. I want you to give away your worldly possessions and then follow me. And the rich man put his head away and walked, and you never heard from him again. If Jesus came to your church today, MAGA, and he says, and you ask Jesus, what can we do to follow you? I want you to give away your guns and follow me and never buy another one. I bet you 100% of that church would walk away and leave Jesus. That's how much they value a firearm. Jesus literally gave his life so you could be forgiven for sins. When he cut off the ear of the guard, Jesus put it back on. He who lives by the sword shall die by the sword. He who lives by the gun shall die by the gun. You don't care about life. You don't care about freedom. You care about your own. You're not even willing to give up any personal freedoms, but yet I would. So you tell me, by the same measure you judge, lest you be judged, which one of these situations sounds like a person that's actually following the will of God? Me, that would walk through broken glass barefoot to turn in a gun that would save the life of even one child murdered in a school, or a father that won't even give up his gun to save the life of his own daughter? That's right. You're not people of faith. You worship a firearm. And until we address it as a country, that's the real mental health epidemic, is young white men that feel like they're insecure and that their version of white America is going away and that a gun makes them feel like a real man. Because they're not real men. They're wannabe alpha males who are insecure and lost. Because they have been told that they need to control people through fear, through ruling, because that's what the white man has done since 1787, going back to the Middle Passage. And now a lot of young white men are losing their minds because women want to start businesses. They don't want to make you babies. They want to be feminists. Good for them. 98% of gun violence are men, not women. Why? Because a lot of men are angry because they turn to violence. Guns, 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 guns. What do you see on January 6th? Violence. What do you see from MAGA? Threats, racial slurs, more threats, bullying people, yelling, spit coming out of the mouth. They're mentally unhinged. But turn to Jesus or else you're going to hell. You've never chosen Jesus. You have always chosen Barabbas, your earthly king once again. And the orange rapist in chief in 1624, once again, you got your earthly king. And all you care about is staying in power and owning guns to make yourselves feel like a little man, a real man. You're not. You're just insecure little boys who like to play with weapons.